Hello and welcome back. I am so glad you're here. I know we're talking about all the time about making dentists more profitable, right? So that we can put the patients first. But first we have to get the patients in our practice so that we can be more profitable, right? So today we're going to talk about a topic that I think is misunderstood quite a bit and hopefully shift your mindset a little bit about marketing and how we gather more new patients because I think how it's typically done is broken. And like we like to do at Upgrade Dental and the other organizations that I'm part of, we're really looking to fix some issues to make dentistry more accessible for patients, and it's make it easier for our team members and for ourselves. I think that quality of care has come a long way, but there's a lot of the other systems in dentistry that we just frankly can just do it a better way. And today we're going to be talking about how to do marketing a better way. So here's kind of how it happens today, typically speaking. So you have a dentist that says, you know what, I might need more new patients. That's usually driven by either a need where there's an openings in the schedule, you're looking at your patient count and it's going down versus up, or maybe your production is off. But let's face it, a steady flow of new patients is the lifeblood of any new practice. We want to take care of those patients that we have to the best of our ability. However, it's just easy. Everything is easier with a steady flow of new patients, but it's not always easy for practices to get that steady flow of new patients. So what do most practices do? They see a need to have more new patients. Typically speaking, they'll reach out to a marketing company. A marketing company who, by the way, oftentimes has never done anything with dentistry other than they work with dentists, right? What does that mean? That means that they are going after dental patients to attract them to dental practices, and frankly, it's really not that much specialized in marketing the way it is typically done at marketing companies. They build you a website, or we'll go through the list here in a little bit. But as somebody who's run dental practices, I can tell you it is very, very different marketing for dental patients. Why? Well, I think that a lot of dental marketing companies, frankly, go into marketing to dentists because they see we have deep pockets. The average patient is worth a high dollar volume, so they can bill more to get a patient to a practice than say, getting somebody to buy a car, for example, which, obviously there's people that specialize in that, but there's not these niche markets of marketing companies that are reaching out to Ford and that like there's in dentistry. And it's just because we're easy targets, right? And so today I want to flip your mindset a little bit so that you are not the easy target. At least that, right? So typically speaking, if you walk into, you're walking the trade show floor, you call a marketing company and you say, I need more new patients. Number one thing they'll probably do is tell you that you need a new website, which can cost up to $10,000, sometimes $5,000. But when you factor in your team's time and your time, they're going to want to replace your website, totally redo everything. And that's going to cost around $10,000 of your time and your team's time. Then they're going to want to host your website, typically speaking, for $200 or more to host your website so they can optimize it for searching. And I did this because I think that there's a lot of that is smoke and mirrors, where they're just saying that there's doing this magic behind the scenes that's going to get you to the top of Google, which isn't really how it works anymore, right? Then they'll say, well, if you want to drive people to your website, you have to do pay-per-click advertising. And if you want any effectiveness at all, it's going to cost over $2,500 a month. And the sky's the limit there, right? You can pay $10,000 a month. And I'm sure many people watching today are. And then if you really want to meet those people that aren't online, you're going to be doing postcards or mailers or local events or things that require your time, your team's time. And, you can easily spend $2,500 a quarter on auxiliary marketing that doesn't have anything to do with online pay-per-click. And then they're going to want to do SEO and blogging and reviews, promoting your reviews online, which can be $1,500 a month or more. So this is, I'm not adding it up today, but basically, this is a very costly endeavor. So if you're struggling for new patients, right, not only do you have to spend over 10 grand on the upfront, but then you're going to have thousands and thousands of dollars on the back end to support this. And then you're crossing your fingers, hoping and praying that you'll get more new patients, right? Well, obviously, there's a better way. And by the way, when you get a new patient that calls your office with these tactics, it's so hard to even tell if that marketing is what brought that patient into your practice, or just your assistant did a phenomenal job walking up a patient and asked for a referral, right? So you can't even track if this money is being effective. So maybe you have to buy new phone numbers and record phone calls and ask people, which is nobody tells you where they actually heard from you unless they're referred from a friend. So a lot of this stuff, even if you spend thousands and thousands of dollars, you can't even tell its effectiveness. It's hard to tell. So I am going to show you a better way today. So instead of replacing what you have, here's my point. You probably know your practice, right? I would think so. You work there every day. And you probably last time, maybe it was 10 years ago, even, you built a website where you put that information that you wanted on your website. Maybe you put up some photos of your team, whatever. Maybe you have some new photos, right? But you put time, energy, and money at some point, most likely to have either a brochure or a website or marketing materials. You don't need to replace it. Okay. Not everything needs to be etch a sketch, wiped off, and redone. What we need to do is adapt your current marketing for the current climate of what a patient is looking for. So, what I want to argue today is instead of replacing and costing lots of time, energy, and money, what's that easy button that we can push in our marketing? It's to fix what's there. It's to rearrange that content to a platform that is designed for how patients look for practices today. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of iPad math because I think that's been popular. I've gotten feedback that people like when I turn on the iPad and I'll show up in the lower left here, and then just do a little math to show you kind of what if we can take the effectiveness of a modern marketing plan versus just redoing everything, what that would mean, not just from a cost saving standpoint, saving tens of thousands of dollars, but from adding more new patient standpoint. So the average marketing company, if they can get you new patients calling your office, requesting an appointment for $125 for if you get that phone call to ring for $125, they're probably doing a good job doing redoing your website and pay per click and all that. If they can get you a new patient calling you for $125, they think that that's successful. Okay. And if you have a budget of $2,500, so this is the old way, right? What is that going to net you? Well, it's going to net you 20 new patient leads. So 22 new patients requesting something from your office, either a phone call or they can, if they'll reach out to you and say, I'm interested in your practice, 20 of them every month. Okay. The old way will net you 20. Well, our research shows, based on what I'm going to talk about, that you can get for free uh, right after, at the end of this podcast, shows that you can drop your lead for new patient requests to $45 per new patient request. So if you took the same $2,500 budget, not 24, not not that much, $2,500 budget, you will net 55 new patient, uh, 55 new patients in that same month. So over double, quite a bit more than double. In fact, it's 175% increase in new patients. That's a big deal. 175% more than, it's almost quadruple the new patients, right? Because you're doing this more effectively. And by the way, same monthly budget with zero expense on the front end. Or obviously you could reduce your monthly spend and get the same number of new patients. Or if you were really fancy, as I'll show you in a little bit, you can change your budget to go after procedures that are more that produce more, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But my point is that if we can make our marketing more effective, then we'll get a lot more new patients, or we can save a lot of money with doing pretty much nothing at all. And what does that look like? Let me show you. Let me go back to here. What do I mean by fixing your website? Well, the problem is that while there's a lot of different stuff a lot of different technologies today that patients are looking for to make their practice, their patient experience more convenient, as I talk a lot about in the book, the Patient First Manifesto. It's hard to put it all together, right? We have to cobble this stuff together. Either it's expensive, or we have to get different companies, put it all, a website company, a forms company, a reviews platform, and all this stuff together. And if we do get it all together, it's a unified platform that frankly doesn't do everything well. And we don't have choice of what we want to do. So instead of hiring developers or an IT company to cobble this stuff together, or going with an expensive closed system, there is a better way. And that better way is toothapps, where you can just move your website, just transition your domain from wherever it is. Now you own the domain, but then you just move where that domain points to toothapps. So you don't have to do anything. We do all of the work for you. And then we rebuild your website or create you a new one if you'd rather. But most people just need to take the elements that they have on their website and have them rearranged so they're mobile friendly. 50% of all internet traffic is going to the phone, and that's increasing. So if your website does not look good on a mobile device today, all you need to do, you don't have to redo the entire thing. Just move it over to toothapps, and we make it so that your site looks beautiful on every mobile device. So it's mobile friendly. Then there's forms that are included on your website that people can do an appointment request, not go directly to your calendar and disrupt your day, but just ask you when it's convenient for them what to request an appointment. 50% of all appointment requests happen after business hours. So give people an easy way to say, hey, I'm due for my cleaning. And then you can reach out to them via email, text message, phone call to get them scheduled at a convenient time for you and for them. Taking online payments. Again, people pay what's convenient to pay. So having it so that you can text, email, or do payments directly from your website that goes directly back into the practice management system is convenient. And so people are going to pay their bills. And then your team doesn't have to stuff envelopes and pay for postage and all that hoo-ha that is less effective, takes tons of time, and it's just a waste all around. And by the way, it reduces your collections hugely. So having payments on your website, intake form. So if a new patient is on your website, there's not a PDF where they have to download. Obviously, they can fill out their forms directly from their mobile device and have that information again go directly into the practice management system. For new patients, also for emergencies. If somebody breaks a tooth, you don't have to get a phone call on the weekends. They can just take a photo, take a little video, send it to you, and virtual consults where we walk people through. If you're an orthodontist, you can walk the patient through taking those photos themselves, so that you can then have them gather that information before you even see the patient in person. Both of these, or all three of these, intake forms, ER forms, and virtual consults, are massively effective for bringing in high dollar patients. So if you do sedation, if you do all on four, if you do cosmetic dentistry, if you do orthodontics, right? A new patient looking at your website site is going to be a little bit apprehensive to think, well, how do I know that these people are for me? Well, if you give them an easy, safe way to send them their information, and then you can get back to them in a non-threatening way, saying, "Hey, we see what's going on. We see people like you all the time. Come on in. There'll be no pressure. We'll give you some options. You can decide what you want to do, if anything." Right? As we've talked about on this podcast before, I believe strongly that this is our job to improve the oral health of our patients, because around 50% of patients don't see a dentist regularly. 25% of patients are walking around planet Earth with active caries that they know about, and they're not doing anything about it. So what I'm saying is that we need to make it more accessible for patients to reach out to us and have us say, "Oh, come on in. Don't worry about it. We got you covered." And this is how you do that from your website. It transforms your website from being like a business card to the open red carpet to your practice saying, "Welcome. We'd love to see you." Right. And it is all free and less than what you're paying for right now. So the new way is that if you need more new patients, you don't have to pay anything to redo your website. Just transfer the information, or we can make you a new one for free for a very limited time. So I would jump on it. We host your website for $99 a month, so probably less than what you're paying right now. if you want to do pay-per-click marketing, because the website is so effective at converting new patients, and because almost all of this money goes directly to the pay-per-click marketing companies like Google or Facebook, you can start at just $500 a month if you want. You can go as high as you want, of course, if you want to drive more new patients. But because what I would recommend doing then is taking part of that budget that you're saving and put it towards target marketing. So marketing for things like whitening or orthodontics or all on four, because your website is designed to take those patients in now with virtual consult forms, with forms, implants. Obviously emergencies can lead to implants or endo. So I would do more target marketing, because your website is converted to your website has been transformed to convert those new patients. So if you wanted to split your budget up, I would recommend doing some pay-per-click for general and then target marketing if you want to. But again, marketing is all optional. It's really just, if you're doing marketing today, it's a much more effective way of doing it. So you can lower your budget and make it more targeted. So again, it's called toothapps. Go to toothapps.com/go if you want to learn more and sign up. You get a mobile friendly website where people can request an appointment directly from you, all of your emergency forms, your intake forms, your virtual consult forms, and online payments where you can text all of your patients on a Friday. They get a notice on their phone and they can pay it right there, and it goes directly back into the practice management software. So all of this, including before and afters, I didn't even mention that. So you can put a before and after gallery on your website, and whatever information else that you have on your website or that you want to put on your website for only $99 a month. And because you listen to this podcast, I wanted you to be the first to know about this. Where we're doing this, we're converting websites right now at no charge. This is not going to last, so I would sign up. It's a saving of thousands of dollars, um, and costs you nothing. All you need to do is move your website from wherever your domain is pointing now to toothapps, and we take care of absolutely everything else. And no long-term contract. So after you sign up, it's only $99 a month. Go to toothapps.com/go. And I know that this has been I've been talking a lot about a new product that we've created, toothapps, which you're going to be hearing a lot about because I'm very excited about it. And we are going to be transforming a lot of broken systems in dentistry, digital systems at toothapps. And this is the first one, the marketing and payments from on your website. But I'm excited about it. As you know, at the Patient First podcast, we are all about making practices more profitable by putting patients first. And toothapps is a platform it's the solution that's allowing us to actually be actionable about that, much like other people that we have on the podcast that help do the same thing. So go to toothapps.com/go, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Patient First podcast.